I'm sorry, with the challenge response, how many times have you always checked that option which says connect automatically to this device?
Yeah.
Did you check that option?
Right.
No.
No? No? Okay. Because most of the times for our home Wi-Fi's, whenever we enter our house, our device gets connected automatically.
Right.
Right? Not all the time I have to detect the Wi-Fi again and click on connect. Isn't it?
Correct.
So now when we talk about wireless hacking, this small thing is the whole point behind the wireless hacking. And moreover, this whole wireless hack of ours, it depends on this particular phenomena, right? That people, they might have selected connect automatically.
Yes.
Fine. Now, when we will look into it, we'll let you know how exactly this happens. Fine. Okay. Theoretical part first, before jumping into the practicality of it. What we will do here is we will try and sniff this communication, right? The communication in which your challenge and response is going across. Fine. And we will capture this whole phenomena, and if I say we have captured it, we can always open it in Wireshark.
Yes.
Isn't it? So that means whatever we capture, we can see it with extension either .pcap or the extension would be .cap, right? And we can always open it in Wireshark to see whatever things are going across. Fine?
Yes.
Okay. Now what I'm doing here is I have this device which is also known as alpha card. Now I have a device like this with me. Now this here is a Wi-Fi receiver, right? Which again, your laptop comes with an inbuilt Wi-Fi, isn't it?
Yes.
But that inbuilt Wi-Fi only works for your base machine. When I talk about this particular Kali VM, which is inside a virtual machine, and if you type ifconfig, it just have two interfaces. One is your Ethernet, another is your loopback. Right? You don't have any interface for the wireless, isn't it? So what I'm doing here is I'm connecting a wireless device. Fine. And I'm connecting one of those alpha cards which I showed you. Now, can you see one more interface popping up with the name WLAN 0?
Yeah.
Right? That means we have a wireless interface up and running for us now.
Yeah.
Right? That also means that now I can detect wireless. So can you again see all these wireless networks?
Yes.
Now, if I try and connect to any particular Wi-Fi, it is asking me for authentication, right?
Yeah.
But the point is, we don't know the password yet, isn't it?
Yes.
We have to crack a password out of a wireless router. Fine. Now, this whole cracking, as I told you, depends on challenge and response phenomena being captured. So that's what we will try and do. We will try and capture this challenge and response phenomenon.
Okay.
So we have a set of commands for it. Post this, I will be sending you those commands because I'm not very sure that all of you have an external Wi-Fi adapter with you, right? So just to be, just so that whenever you guys want to try, you can try it. I will send all these commands to you so that whenever you have time, you can always try them. Fine.
Okay. Yeah.
So we will first what we have to do is remember when we were talking about networks, we talked about putting your machine in promiscuous mode,
Yes.
right? Now, promiscuous mode was something in which you can sniff all the traffic going in the network, isn't it?
Yeah.
Similarly, when we talk about Wi-Fi's, the same promiscuous mode is also known as monitor mode.
Okay.
Right? So here, first we will try and turn this wireless adapter into monitor mode because I want to sniff all the traffic which is going in the wireless network. Right? So we have a command airmon-ng. Now what this command does, it gives you the interface details, the driver details and the chipset. Fine. Now I want to start monitor mode on WLAN 0. So I ran airmon-ng start. Is my screen visible to you guys?
Yes.
Okay. It's fine, right? Or you want me to zoom in?
It's okay now.
Yeah. Now.
No.
Okay.
No, it's better.
Now what I did, great, thank you. What I did, I started the monitor mode in it, and as you can see, my monitor mode now is WLAN 0 mon. So if I type ifconfig again, I should see WLAN 0 mon here. Do you guys see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? This means now my wireless is in monitor mode. Right? Now, once you have set it up in monitor mode, now first thing is you want to detect all those wireless network, right? Similar to what was happening here, when I was, when I was getting over here and I was looking for all the wireless networks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that, you have another command which is with the name aerodump-ng. And I gave my monitor mode. So can you see all these wireless networks being detected on the?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I'm just stopping it so that I can explain these things to you. Now, the very first section is BSSID, which is actually the MAC address for your access point, right? This is the MAC address for my access point, whatever the router is, right? Then you have power. The less the power, the better the signals are. Fine.
Okay.
So that's how it works. Then you have data and beacons. This is whatever is traveling in the network. Then you have another important thing is channel. Now, what Wi-Fi or how Wi-Fi works is, you can always change the channel of your Wi-Fi. Now, how changing the channel helps is, sometimes there is a lot of congestion in your wireless networks. Fine. So, you call your whatever your Wi-Fi guy is, he comes to your house, he does some troubleshooting, and all of a sudden your wireless is working properly now. Right?
Yes.
He actually does nothing. Sometimes what he does is he just changes the channel of it. Right? Because that particular channel was having a lot of congestion in it. Fine? So then
Okay.
another important thing is channel for the Wi-Fi. Then you have encryption and cipher. Now, nowadays, we actually go with WPA2, right? And moreover, it's a good practice to go with WPA2 and not WPA, right? WPA is not one of the secure wireless, what do you say, encryption methods. So it's better to switch to WPA2. And CCMP is a cipher, that we use in order to change the plain text, whatever the keys are going in plain text into the cipher text. Fine. Then you have authentication method. Now, as you can see, authentication method for all of them is PSK, right? Which stands for pre-shared key. Fine. Because that is the only way to connect to a Wi-Fi, right? You should know the key before you connect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why authentication for all of them is PSK. Now, rather than selecting a WPA, let me go with WPA2, which is actually the latest one. Fine. So what I will do now, out of all these different channels, right? Out of all these different channels, right? So out of all these different channels, or out of all these different networks, I will be selecting the very first one. So I will just copy the MAC for it, and I will also need the channel, which is 2, right? So now I will go with arrow down. Channel was 2. I want to dump the traffic in a file. Let's say the name of the file is Fahim. MAC address for the router is this, and my monitor mode is WLAN 0 mon. Right. Now, can you see a couple of devices connected there?
Yes.
Right. Now, to be frank, this is my Wi-Fi, right? The Wi-Fi which I am using. So, just to give you a hint, this is my wireless adapter, and what is the MAC address for my machine? Starting with 74, ending with 57, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, if you look here, can you see the similar MAC address?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now tell me this, I'm not even connected to this Wi-Fi. Am I connected to this Wi-Fi inside my Kali machine? Am I?
No.
No,
No.
right? I'm not
Actually,
even
yes.
connected to the Wi-Fi, and I can actually see the MAC address for the people who are connected to this Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Should that be possible? In normal scenarios, that should not be the case, right?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
again, this is the reason why we say that wireless is, not one of the safe technologies, right?
Mm.
Because whatever data is traveling, it is in the air, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So you can always capture it. Now, we have to keep this capture running till the point when you receive a handshake, right?
Okay.
Till the point when you receive a handshake. Now, not always you will receive a handshake directly. So what you have to do in those cases, I'm sorry. Okay. So what you have to do in those cases, you have to actually manually send forge request to the router. Fine. So we have another command for it, which is air replay, right? I'm going with -1, which is for sending fake authentications, right? Remember the channel for the Wi-Fi, the channel was 2, right? I will give the MAC address with -a and I will give WLAN 0 mon. Now, can you see all the fake authentication requests being sent across?
Yes.
Fine. So I will let it run for a minute or two. Okay, in the meantime it runs. What we also have is we have a word list which is by default present inside your Kali machine, right? Now the word list for wireless cracking are by default inside the directory which is with the name user share and true crack.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
So you can, if you have opened your Kali Linux, what you can do is you can open your terminal and you can navigate to the directory which says user, share and truecrack. And so I will stop it now. I will stop these fake authentications. I will stop the capture now. Right? And if I do ls, can you see a file with the name fahim.cap?
Yes.
Right? Now this is my capture file, which I can also open in Wireshark.
Okay.
So now, can you see all those packets being sent across? Right?
Yes.
And if you look at the total number of packets, it's almost 137,000. Right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard to go through each and every packet one by one and look for, look for the authentication, isn't it?
Yes.
So what we have another command with the name aircrack, right? I will give the name of the file and I will also go with my word list, which is inside user share true crack and with the name dictionary with 100,000 words. If I run it, can you see it is now trying and crack the password?
Yes.
Yes.
Right now, again, since it's a kind of a brute force, so it will take its time, right? So what I'm doing a brute force, but I'm not actually brute force. Okay. Can you see we just got a hit?
Key found.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fine. And it gave you the exact key for this wireless, and that's it. This is what your wireless hacking is all about. Any questions with this?
So, what if, if anyone hide his access point?
Yes. Now, when anyone hides their access point, you won't be able to see the ESS ID, which is
Yes.
the name of the router, but you will be able to see the BSS ID part of it, which is the
Okay.
MAC of the router. Now, did we did any
Okay.
attack using ESS ID?
No.
No,
No.
right? And this
Yes.
is the reason I actually showed it to you using BSS IDs.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, why don't we go to a Wi-Fi and let's try and connect to it using the key which we already found, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you say it? Can you see it's now connected to it,
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
Mm.
So this means that whatever key we have cracked, that is correct, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions you guys have with wireless hacking now?
No.
Great. You know,
So we can try
yes,
it in our neighbors. Okay.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
And the
Part of that, out here, you are not actually brute forcing the router, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because let's say if someone is using a router which is not very good enough to take all the load, you don't actually want to DOS out the router, isn't it?
Okay.
Because you want to use the services that is being given by that router, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't want to DOS it out.
Okay.
So that's why we are very careful with the wireless attack. So what we did, we captured the challenge response, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we brute forced it,
Okay.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Great. Any questions with this?
No.
No.
Great. Now, I want any one of you, either Fahim or Rajesh, to share your screen, and there's a practical in your Wi-Fi lab. I want you to, do it for me so that Divya can also see that.
Okay. So,
So, who will be sharing the screen?